Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday to you. This is Blair Miller in the Atlanta News First Newsroom here at the First Alert Desk, and hope you're having a great week. I know it's been a little wet out there this afternoon. The remnants of what was Hurricane Francine been moving through this afternoon, and we'll be touching base with meteorologist Fred Campagna here a little bit later. And I can show you in the meantime, live view outside here tonight over the city of Atlanta as we show you a live picture of Midtown. You've probably seen those clouds have been sticking with us for the last day or so. And I know today we saw a tree down near, I think it was 75, that was causing some issues. So, and this is something our meteorologists talked about, saying this might be an issue we deal with. And so that's certainly one of the things we've been focusing on here. Today is looking at, the weather situation, how this is really going to impact all of us for the next couple of days. And so we'll get an update here from Fred here in a few moments. But in the meantime, I want to give you an update on some of the news that we are tracking out there tonight. And in our newsroom tonight, one of the big stories that was breaking here this afternoon involving former President Donald Trump's campaign really claiming a victory here in Georgia based on this development today. 3 charges related to his election interference case in Fulton County were dropped here in Georgia. This happened shortly before 4 o'clock this afternoon when we got word of this, and certainly something that the Trump campaign was happy to see. But this doesn't only impact the former president, but also some of the other defendants that were in this RICO case. And Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon has really been staying on top of this historic case, and he found out the latest was at the courthouse a little earlier and went through some of the paperwork and brings you the latest here tonight.
Judge Scott McAfee, who's been overseeing this case from the beginning, dropped 3 charges from the indictment today. Some of the defendants faced all 3. Donald Trump faced 2 of them. They had to do with perjury, which is lying in court. McAfee said that because Trump is a federal office holder and the crimes deal with a federal election, as a state judge, he doesn't have the jurisdiction to prosecute them. Here's some of what McAfee said in his ruling today. Quote, because counts 14, 15, and 27 lie beyond the state's jurisdiction and must be quashed, the defendant's motion to dismiss the indictment under the Supremacy Clause are granted in part. Lawyers for defendants in this case, including Trump's, have been trying for months to get the entire case dismissed. So this is a big win for them, getting a few of these charges dismissed. Trump's team released a statement moments after the ruling came down. They said, quote, President Trump and his legal team in Georgia have prevailed once again, unquote. While Trump still faces a handful of very serious charges in Fulton County, this isn't the first big win for his legal team. He started this case last August with 13 charges against him. 3 were dropped in March, and then 2 more again today. We reached out to the district attorney's office. They could only tell us they were reviewing this decision. This case slowed to a halt after Fonnie Willis, the district attorney here in the county, admitted to having a relationship with the case's top prosecutor, Nathan Wade. That decision on whether to keep her or remove her from this case because of that is in the hands of the state appeals court. They will hear that in December, 1 month after the general election in November. Outside the Fulton County Courthouse, Doug Reardon, Atlanta News First.
So that is the latest chapter and where this case stands regarding the former president as far as his charges here in Fulton County. Again, his campaign claiming a victory on this, but certainly the entire case doesn't go away. It just changes as far as some of the charges. And something else that developed on the campaign trail. We had September 11th yesterday, and so the candidates were taking a break from campaigning, but they were back on the campaign trail today. And we had that debate earlier in this week between the 2 candidates, and there was a lot of talk about whether or not we would see another debate. Many of the analysts were saying this would probably be the only debate, and it kind of looks like that's what it's going to be, because we heard from the campaign trail on this today, and former President Trump said today he does not want another face-off against Vice President Kamala Harris. And so that's where it looks like it will be standing, saying he's claimed victory in that debate. Kamala Harris wanted a second debate, but it looks like that will not be happening. Another big story we're following here tonight is related to the Sundance film festival. Atlanta threw its hat into being considered for this, but Sundance dreams have been dashed. This coming out today. Atlanta is now out of the running to host this independent film festival, and it's interesting because the city had pledged about $2 million in their pitch to land this festival, but had made it to the final round of this, but now we're down to three cities. Atlanta is not one of them, and this is something our Blake Devine is working on tonight for our 10, 11 o'clock newscast. But here's the latest information on what he found out a little earlier today.
I'm Blake Devine reporting from a film studio at Georgia State University, where folks in the film industry are feeling a little bit rejected tonight after losing out on the opportunity to host the Sundance Film Festival. Atlanta was one of 6 cities selected as a finalist, and today Sundance narrowed its search down from 6 cities to 3. The top 3 choices are Boulder, Colorado, Cincinnati, Ohio, and the current festival host, Park City, Utah. In late July, the Sundance Search Committee visited Atlanta, by far the largest metro area considered. Local leaders rolled out the red carpet with visits to the Fox Theater, Woodruff Arts Center, and the King Center. Atlanta also offered Sundance $2 million in upfront financial incentives, although in the end it wasn't enough, as the Sundance winner will be announced after the 2025 festival.
So that's the latest from Blake Devine. And as I mentioned, we were just having a meeting here in our newsroom, and he was talking about getting reaction from the film industry on this, because it sounds like a blow to it, but the industry was saying how Georgia really stands to benefit from film productions. We had so much step backs from COVID, but now they're saying Georgia really could see a comeback here in the near future when it comes to film production. So we'll have more on that coming up tonight at 10 and 11 o'clock, so I hope you'll join us on air for that. In the meantime, want to bring in meteorologist Fred Campagna, because as I can take a live view outside, very Gotham-esque, as you look at some of this, because really the clouds have been quite impressive, and the rain, Fred, I know you guys are forecasting some of the rain that we've seen. Seems like we've been in a bit of a break here tonight, is that right?
I wouldn't go outside, Blair. Let's just say that.
Okay.
No, it's drizzly. It's that misty rain. It's like a Bruce Springsteen lyric. The misty rain that's falling out there right now. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with outside right now. Good evening, everybody. In at least Midtown, it is drizzling and raining at the same time. So we'll have to contend with this for tonight. But tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday, it's passing showers and thunderstorms that we're worried about in North Georgia. So today's been interesting. There have been some gusts up around 35, 40 miles an hour in a few spots. A couple of reports here and there of some tree damage as well. But for the most part, it has just been just been kind of dreary out there today and into this evening and overnight. So let me just take you quickly back outside here while I get set up on my end. Take a quick half second here. Let's see what we can do. So if you have plans this weekend, definitely keep a close eye on the forecast. First Alert Weather app is always good to have whenever you need it, and you may need it to identify where the showers and storms are as we go through the next few days. We're not by any stretch getting the brunt of what's left of Francine, but we are dealing with, let me say, cool. Now I will be in, and I'll be able to control my weather system here and show you everything. We are dealing with some wet weather, and the wind is not going to be as big of an issue for us going forward. So that's a little bit of good news. All right, so wind gusts right now out there, generally still about 25 miles an hour, Rome, LJ area, but most of us are seeing lighter winds. The wind advisory continues in effect. It's possible the National Weather Service may clip that, though, and get rid of it. It's in effect until 5 o'clock in the morning for gusts up to about 35 miles per hour. We haven't seen too many gusts that high lately, and right now, Francine's a post-tropical cyclone and will just continue to weaken for us over time. But it's going to drift in our direction, so it's about as far away from us as it's going to get, or at least it will be early tomorrow, and then it kind of drifts our way, and that increases our shower and thunderstorm chances. It's in the 60s and low 70s outside right now. So the center of what's left of Francine is right around Memphis. Looks like it's just south of Memphis right now. That red box that you see over Alabama, that is a tornado watch. And they've had some thunderstorms. I haven't seen any reports of tornadoes out that way. But that's where the air is a lot more unstable than what we have here over North Georgia. So there was a time yesterday when we were concerned about that instability creeping into at least Cleburne and Randolph counties in Alabama, or possibly into West Georgia this evening or overnight. Doesn't look like that's going to happen, and we'll likely see just showers passing through, maybe a rumble of thunder in the western part of Georgia. But the greatest severe risk is off to our west. And then tomorrow, it is West Georgia all the way up through Rome, Chattooga County, and all the way down through Upson County and Pike and Lamar counties, west side of Atlanta, under the risk, a low risk of seeing a strong or severe storm. And as we go through the next several days, you'll notice that there's some yellows and oranges overhead at times as we go, as we continue through Friday afternoon, Friday evening, Saturday. Same story. Saturday looks unsettled. Saturday is the first alert weather day. So is Sunday. Although the wettest couple of days look like Friday and Saturday. Scattered showers still hanging around on Sunday, and since it's a weekend, and since it's in mid-September, we figured we would add a first alert weather day just as a heads up that the weather could impact your outdoor plans on Sunday. Look at that, still 7 o'clock Sunday evening, and scattered showers still in the forecast. What about rainfall totals? Really difficult rainfall forecast because as you can see here on this map, we have about a 4-inch range of rainfall totals. Less than half an inch in the northern suburbs up through Ellijay, and then 4.5 inches down in Thomaston. Now, a couple of things about this rainfall map here. We show it to you. Focus more on like the 1 to 3 inch rainfall totals, and I think that's what many of us are going to see. The exact pattern of this rain is very hard to discern given where this system is and how it's going to drift in our direction. So it may not be the case that south of Atlanta gets the heaviest rain, but it's probably pretty likely that up near Ellijay and the northern suburbs get the least amount of rain. So we'll see if the heaviest totals are in West Georgia or possibly south or southeast of Atlanta or maybe even in Atlanta. But it is a little more likely that up in the northern suburbs and up in the mountains that you'll have a little bit less rain, or at least in the central North Georgia mountains. As you get into northeast Georgia, your totals could be a little bit heavier. Let's talk about something better, and that is the potential for some warmer weather to come our way toward the end of September. Still watching, though, for some activity near the eastern seaboard that could keep things a little bit wet. The better chance of that happening is south and east of our area along the coast, but it's something to watch in late September. Tropics are fairly quiet, actually, for this time of the year, right about the peak of hurricane season, just after it. So Francine now, post-tropical cyclone. We have that 7, that's the L that's out there on the right-hand side of your screen. And then we have 2 areas that the Hurricane Center is watching, and one of them, as I mentioned, is near the southeast U.S. coast as what's left of Francine drifts off to the south and east, and then a new subtropical system could potentially develop by the middle of next week. And that very weak disturbance that is, as you can see, moving just to the right of that X that's in the bottom center of your screen, that has a 30% chance of development. So that the odds of that development have actually gone down. Here's Atlanta's most accurate 7-day forecast, and we continue with first alert weather days right through the weekend. Still not completely out of the woods as far as rain goes, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time frame, but I think the chances overall are lower. High temperatures for the next several days in the mid-70s, low temperatures, as you can see, mid and upper 60s, and we get a bit warmer and a bit brighter by the middle of next week, up to around 80 by Wednesday and 84 on Thursday. All right, so take it easy. Have a great evening. Don't forget, check in with us tonight on Peachtree TV at 10 o'clock, and then, of course, on Atlanta News First at 11. We'll have the very latest on what's coming our way weather-wise for the weekend. Take it easy.